Next up is our very own Dollywood.
Your what now?
Okay, I remember last year, so I'm running on my own laptop. Sorry, I'm with you. Okay.
That space was a lot bigger, though. A lot more spacious.
So, great turnout. Glad everybody's here. We have officially exceeded no coaster in total number of participants. And as David and I were talking about, it's a little different here than the Holiday in Skokie. So, although we appreciate that event as well.
Yeah, we won't get thrown out of this room, right?
You're exactly right. And you don't have to be out. That's right. There's not going to be a band moving in here right before we're done. If you don't know that story, we'll tell you about it later. So, how many folks have not necessarily Dream More, but how many folks have never been to Dollywood? There's a few. Okay. Well, we'll remedy that this year. But we're really proud of the park. The park has really grown, especially over the last decade. A lot of investment, and as Dolly made an announcement in 2013, August of 2013, that we would start a $300 million investment for the park. This is part of that investment. Lightning Rod is also part of that investment. But for those of you that have never been here, here's a quick introduction. And for those of you that have been to Dollywood, see if you think this is an accurate depiction.
No.
Well, I'm having technical problems. Maybe it's just that Josh is standing by me.
It's a curse.
Huh, I don't know what the deal is.
My love for you is deeper than the depths of any ocean. And as faithful as the stars that grace the night, as constant as the sun making its journey through the heavens. And we'll always be together, you and I. Together, you and I can stop the rain and make the sun shine. Paint a pretty rainbow brush with love across the sky. Together, you and I belong, like a songbird and a song, and we'll always be together, you and I. Life with you is sweeter than the fragrance of the flowers, and as happy as the laughter of a child, as peaceful as a river and as lasting as forever. You know we'll always be together, you and I. Together, you and I can stop the rain and make the sun shine. Together.
kind votes that you've given to us through the years, and hopefully you'll be equally pleased with Lightning Rod once it opens. But that's what we're here to talk about, Lightning Rod. Great new coaster. I think that you're going to be able to see some things. You'll definitely be able to see something no one else has seen as far as your community is concerned at the park when we go through to do the tour. Made the announcement originally August 7th. The boss was there and made the announcement. For those of you that are not familiar with the ride, here's a look at what Lightning Rod's all about. If you're with us at No Coaster, you notice that I couldn't get the POV to really work very well. So we're going to try that again, and I'm going to take you to a little different place. You get an opportunity to see this with what the POV of this ride is going to look like. Okay, now when we get over there, you'll have to tell me if you think it looks like the video. I think it does. So let's break it down a little bit. Lightning Rod is an RMC coaster. It's an RMC coaster from the ground up. It's a wood structure, wood stack track, using the topper track technology. Not the I-beam, the topper track technology. This is a wooden coaster. So, a little different than any other wooden coaster because of this nice line right down here in the middle. That line right there denotes it will be the first launched wooden coaster ever built. By the time that you reach the top of this roughly 206-foot tall hill, you'll be going 45 miles an hour. It's using an LSM launch with supercapacitors, so that we won't be jolting it like the Hulk used to. We're actually running it with a supercapacitor system. I think it's going to be a really nice, smooth launch. It's a new, there's so many new technological things in this ride. A couple that you're going to see later this afternoon. But Dominic is doing the launch for us. You'll all know them from their magnetic braking systems. And it's going to be an interesting process as they calibrate this. There are several really, really cool features to this ride. When you crest the top of the hill, there is a false drop. This is the, some folks internally call this the dolly feature. And it is so from the crest to the top, it drops 165 feet. At the bottom of that first drop, you're going to be going 73 miles an hour. 73 miles an hour makes this the fastest wooden coaster in the world. We're going to have Guinness certify that at grand opening. So it will have a Guinness certification as the fastest wooden coaster anywhere in the world. From there, you drop down, you cross under a track, and you go up into this, which is a big, huge banked wave turn. This really doesn't do it justice when you see it in person. It is crazy. I mean, it is crazy. The amount of inertia that is going to be pushing on this track with all of that built up speed is going to be nuts. So there's another look at it here. This is from the other side to give you an opportunity to see how it lays out. This ride itself really lays out in between two valleys.
Are you more than 90 on that?
Slightly.
That's what it looks like.
Just slightly more. And I think there's going to be some deflection. So I think there'll probably be a little more than that once you ride it, especially depending on the weight of the train. But what you'll see is the station itself sits in Jukebox Junction in our 50s area of the park, right across from Red's Diner. right next to Rockin' Roadway. You will load there. Once you load, the train is going to cross a bridge and it will take you up the launch. It goes up and over one ridge, it drops down. This is a return track that takes you up into the quadruple down. And as you come down here and come across, you're up on another hillside. That drops you back down into a valley. There's a hi-hat and a trick they call twist and shout, which is a pretty cool trick. And then you come back around and into that quadruple down. They really use the terrain very, very well. I mean, this rivals Mike Boodley's design on Thunderhead with as well as they've used the design. Alan Schilke is the designer. He's certainly familiar with the park. He designed the Tennessee Tornado and really has done some cool things. I've been asking for a triple down on a ride for several years when we've looked at different designs. Schilke took it one further, and this is a quadruple down that wraps around a hillside. And you're going to be not only dropping in elevation, you're also going to be twisting back and forth. So it's a combination trick track and really airtime bumps as you drop. There's a ton of airtime on this ride. They've totaled it out in projections. It's right at 20 total seconds. So, I mean, you have to compute that in your head a little bit on a 2-minute ride that you basically are going to be weightless at different points as you add it up right at 20 seconds. It really is a great design. A couple of other looks. This is the picture that is on your left is is coming down that drop and going up into that wave turn. The shot on the right is a non-inverted loop. It's a 180-degree non-inverted loop that takes you back around. This is the come home turn. So once it comes around from here off the after quadruple down, and then there's an airtime bump. You come back around and and it's a 180-degree non-inverted loop. There are no inversions on this ride. This is all about speed and all about airtime. I'm glad you agree. I mean, I'll tell you, I love Outlaw Run. That second barrel roll was a little much for me. So I think the first one's great, but I think the second one's a little rough. I love Iron Rattler. I think that's a great. The inversions on that are great, but we didn't think this really needed it. So let's take a look at some construction. So I just cut this last night. This is all of that track we've been talking about from a different angle since basically November, end of November. Tracking complete. We expect that by the end of next week, we actually are going to walk through an area where they're assembling vents now for that last sections on the come home side. We expect by the end of next week that the track will be finished, and the hope is that we'll be sending a train up and over the hill for the first time around Valentine's Day. Here's an aerial shot of what the layout looks like in actuality. Wow. It really, it's a big ride. It's 2/3 of a mile long, but it covers a lot of acreage. Here's another look at this aerial shot, but this is moving video from that same drone. And yes, I do like Led Zeppelin. Here's a couple of aerial shots that are in the snow. This is from a week ago Wednesday. You get a really good shot of the double drop there, and how that lays out along the hillsides. This area right here that you see with that's right in this area, this is where the hi-hat and the twist and shout are back in here. This comes back over, and this is where your quadruple down comes in and around the hill. Shot a little better there where you can see that back corner. All right, here's some stuff that I took out of a presentation, but I snuck a couple of them in last week at no cost.